People often ask me when I say, hey, you know what? You shouldn't pay taxes. They ask me if I'm nuts. I say, you're nuts. You're the one paying for the Utah data center. They can hold almost indefinitely for the next few decades everything on the web just about. Only thing that limits them is that they don't have enough connections to take all the data in quite yet. They can only do about 75%. The place so big they can hold 5 zettabytes. 5 zettabytes? You know how big a zettabyte is? You could stack 62.5 billion iPhones on top of each other, the narrow way, not tall wise, and it would go past the moon to get 1 zettabyte. Stack 62.5 billion iPhones, makes 1 zettabyte, goes past the moon. We're paying for a police state. You pay your taxes to pay for our police state. Sheriffs that have APCs. State police with APCs. This isn't fucking Afghanistan. This is not Iraq. This is America. But it seems like we're all too willing to accept it. Maybe that's why you call me crazy, because you think this is okay. Like in Boston, when they ran the streets and they turned Watertown into a martial law district. And we cowered in our houses without guards even to keep us there. Do we realize what's going on? You calling me nuts for me paying taxes? What about the NDAA Act? Where they can indefinitely hold an American citizen without charges for your protection. Welcome to 2013. Obama's new America. So that's what this is about. This is about a total totalitarian system coming onto the people, oppressing you with LRAD sound suppression devices like they did this at the G20 in Chicago. It's, you pay your taxes to a government that spends more than it has. It's to borrow from a corrupt Federal Reserve. A corrupt Federal Reserve that is at this year in its 100th year anniversary, and we're not even talking about it. Nobody's even bringing it up. We don't own it. Woodrow Wilson brought this in as an ploy in 1913. That progressive asshole brought this in as a ploy. And the bank that we don't even own makes our money and puts us into even worse shape. Because these guys, Greenspan, Bernanke, all of them, you know what? These guys don't work for you. Them being appointed is a joke. Because you know what? The bank is privately owned. If we owned it, why would we pay it back interest? If it wasn't for profit, for somebody's profit. Every year since its invention, the dollar has decreased in value until now. During the current war on terror, it's so low. It's like 4 cents is what a dollar, 4 cents was worth back then what a dollar is now. Thank you, Ben Bernanke. People don't understand this whole thing, and I think politicians don't understand. I mean, people have this simple idea, like, we'll overthrow this, things go back to normal. But you know what though? It doesn't always work like this circle right here. Liberty, complacency, dependence, tyranny, revolution. Yeah, dependence work. That's how it happens. It's happening right now, and we're working our way into tyranny. But if we have that revolution, does that mean that we're going to get America back right then? No, it doesn't. It took 2,000 years since the Greek city-states, people postulating freedom, for this to come to be. What makes us think that all of a sudden we have a revolution, and unless we're very careful, it's going to stay America? We got to take this back before it falls apart. Because if it falls apart, we try to put it back together, it might not work. You know what? When tyranny becomes everywhere around us, guess what? It's hard to get rid of. It's a really hard thing to get rid of. When we just get lied to, Americans die overseas almost every single day. You know, Afghanistan, Iraq. This was a country we used to honor our soldiers, and now we don't even care when our president leaves 2 Navy SEALs high and dry in Benghazi. It's insane. The unintended consequences of what we have done to ourselves is sad. We're letting Islam almost take over our country, it seems. We're so careful, we have to be careful about everything we say, you know? It's like liberalism's the gun in the mouth of Uncle Sam, holding up Western civilization, and the trigger's about to go off. You know what? When injustice becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. That's the truth. You have to say, I'm not going to comply. I'm not going to pay my taxes because I'm not going to fund my own enslavement. Because when you pay taxes to a government who's doing all these things to you, you're paying for your own oppression. You're paying for the police who will come lock you up and take you to court. If you don't follow their exact little rules, you're paying their salary, giving them jobs. I don't care about the consequences. I'm not going to pay my taxes. You know why? Because that's what patriots do. They don't just get complacent and say, well, I don't like it right now, but you know, maybe it'll change. And I'm just going to keep funding my own enslavement. No. It's done. Wake up.